I'm going to hand a stock up to the NFL for how they handled the Brendan Sorsby case. So obviously Sorsby has a gambling addiction. He's acknowledged that. He's getting treatment for it, but he has broken many, many rules, which is betting on your own team in college, continuing to place bets, using proxies to place bets for you. I mean, everything that has to do with gambling. Unfortunately, Brendan Sorsby has violated these rules. So even though they got when he transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech, they did get a friendly judge to basically slap him on the wrist with a 2-game suspension and then allow him to play the rest of the season. But college football essentially melted down. Multiple lawsuits and planned lawsuits led to Sorsby just saying, you know what, forget it. I'm going to take myself out of the situation and I'm going to enter the supplemental draft for the NFL. And obviously the supplemental draft is not something that happens every year. It's kind of this addendum to the draft. It happens months later for guys who had eligibility issues, whatever they may be. And the NFL said, no, we're not going to hold the supplemental draft this year, and we're not going to make an exception just for Brendan Sorsby. And I understand why the NFL is doing this. Listen, you have a situation that unfortunately has become more common, which is the pervasiveness of gambling. You have to give NFL teams more time to vet what's going on with this. Making Sorsby wait until next April's draft is not such a gigantic punishment, considering Texas Tech has already said they're not going to claw back any of the money that he's already made with NIL. We'll see if they stick to that. And that they're not saying you'll never get to play football ever again. They're just saying not now. And you know what? If Sorsby is true about getting help and really trying to fix this gambling addiction, then there's nothing wrong with a little extra time. Be recovering. Live as a recovering gambling addict. See what that is like. From what I understand about all types of addictions, sometimes the recovery is not just a straight line. There can be setbacks. I don't want to say relapses, but there can just be challenges. And see if you can navigate some of those and give yourself the tools that will help you the next time you're tempted to go down this road. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see Sorsby get drafted next year once he's done a little bit more work. And here's the thing about this case that no one's talking about, which is if we all weren't so cynical about college football, I think people would feel a little worse for Sorsby. But there is not a lot of compassion out there for him because we've seen so many times fake apologies, empty apologies, doing whatever is necessary by any means necessary to get a guy eligible. We've seen college coaches lie. We've seen college players lie. We've seen administrators embarrass themselves over and over again. And while we all love college football for all the great things that it brings, there is a sliminess to college football that is undeniable. And it's in all different realms. So when you see a guy always going for inpatient treatment or he's really getting help, I think some people roll their eyes and think it's a fake. They think it's a joke. And they think that he's just saying these things to try to get back on the field. And I can understand why you think that. Because we've seen this so many times when programs embarrass themselves to get guys eligible. So I think that if we had a little more faith in college football, maybe people would have a little sympathy that this guy actually is struggling with an addiction. And instead it's become, how do we get him on the field and how do we keep making money? And having Sorsby have to pause and keep working out, keep training, get ready for April's draft, and just deal with your stuff. Might save his career. And not to be hyperbolic, I mean, might save his life. So I do have to give stock up to the NFL for not just, green lighting the supplemental draft with Sorsby and instead pausing, taking a beat.